to all. So yesterday we discussed about DevOps, like basic introduction about DevOps and why exactly we are using DevOps, where we are implementing DevOps in software SDLC. So now we are going to discussing about Linux. So Linux we are using for the DevOps here. So in the Linux we have file systems. So first we'll see about the file systems, then we'll see about the advantages, and we'll see some directories in the Linux operating systems. So then how many directories and like how many commands we are going to use for DevOps, we'll see now. So let's start now. So here the file systems are available and supported by the Linux system. These file systems are available now actually. So one is the ext, second one is the ext2, third one is the ext3, and fourth one ext4, and fifth one btrfs, and sixth one jfs and xfs. These three, like btrfs, jfs and xfs, these three things are outdated one. So ext4 are now using currently. So now we'll discuss clearly later about these like currently using, why we are using ext4 and why these things jfs and xfs are outdated. So coming to file system here, so Linux file system is, first of all, this one is a hierarchical file system, this one. And these, like you guys maybe doubt what's the hierarchical file system now here. So if you consider like parent and child relationship is called the hierarchical file system here. So what's the advantages of this file system? So we can the files and folders we can store. The storage device is easy, like the files and folders we can store, and we can store the way of these devices in very easy. And we can organize the group of the data or files. We can organize, like we can merge, or we can organize these group of some set of data and files here. So and we can perform operations of grouping and deleting here. So these are the main three advantages of this file system. So and one more thing, so while the Linux operating system is of its installation creates some default files and directories on the storage device. Like while we are installing Windows 10, some directory files, like some existing like already predefined files will be created. So like that. So for example, in the Windows, if we install Windows, we'll see like the drives like Windows C, D, E, like whatever we are so we are able to see, like we are very well know about the Windows configuration and Windows files, how it will work. Now this is the first step. So maybe you'll get some doubts how the Linux will be we can access if we install Linux. So now we'll see about these things. So this one, well, installing Linux operating system, some default files, directories will be stored on the in the store in the storage device, like Windows 10, so or Windows 10 or Windows 7. So like here the root, like CR drive in Windows, under there is some directories files. So what directories, like how many directory files is there, how it will work, we'll see now. So coming to bin here, so bin is a binary executable here. These Linux system commands bash commands are placed in the directory file, this one in the bin. So we'll see about depth in now bin here. So there is some commands actually in the directories. In these directories we can access here. So in the bin here, ls is a command. We use Linux to see the files directory in the machine, like how we are work out in the in the Windows. If we press Windows R, then we are able to perform some operations like whatever you want, right? So like this ls is a command, we can use this like ls command to see the files directories in the machine, how many file directories in the our system. So mkdlr is the command, we can create the directories, okay. And rm is the command, like for the removing files, whatever we created files or directories, we can removing the files using this rm command. And touch command, we can create the empty files here. So these commands will be in the bin directory here. So in this bin directory here, so these commands are called bash commands to interact with the hardware in our system. So what will be the hardwares in our system, like CPU, memory, these things, like these the hardwares we are interact with these bash commands. Like we need to create some files, we need to delete some files, like we need to merge or remove, so like that. So coming to next directory file here, so boot. So here the boot is, this one is the loader files in the Linux operating system. Like while we installing Windows 10, there is some already predefined files will be there. This it will be stored in the OS, like in the system. So like that, the bootloader files will be there. So coming to dev, so all the system devices are mounted on this dev. So why means we can see hard disk using the command, like for example, so we can, like in Windows, how we can see the hard disk, like C D, like how we can divide into multiple, like D E F. So here we need to see, if you want to see the hard disk in your Linux operating system, we need to use this command like dev sdo. So like you can see. So if you are, one more thing, if you are Windows, how you are if you are inject the hard like pen drive in the computers, we can see the new disk we are able to see. Like, so if you connect the pen drive to Linux operating system, you are able to see here dev sd version 1. So you are able to see like this here. So this is how the dev directories will work. So coming to mnt, so all network devices mounted in this directory, like I'll explain you about mnt here. So in Windows, like the same thing, we can press, if you press Windows plus R, so if you press like if you want to open anything, media, temp, like it will be open, right? So here if you type like the IP address, if you want to connect some any another system, like your friend system, if you want to connect, and if you need to access some network drives, or you need to perform some operations like delete and copy merging files, so we can type here IP address, and we can start browse here from to another system. The same way the mnt, the another computer, we can access IP address from these directories, and we can access all the network drives, like, so these things will be mounted here in the mnt. So coming to media, so here, so this medium is like how we need to perform in the Windows, like some headphones, these devices, like these drives will be there, like music player. So these drivers will be handled here in the media section here, media directory. And coming to USR, programs or softwares under this directory are shared to all users of Linux. So for example, so in the Windows, so normal, if you are going to install any files, so where it will be stored, it will be stored in the program files, like in the like the computer C, wherever if you want to install in the computer C, like the drive C, so programs files will be there. So in that, the files will be, all these files will be installed. So if you want to access that particular application, in that only in that system only we are able to access. So like if you are like already that file is if you given that access to already like the shareable application, then the multiple users will access. So but in the Linux, they'll access to all users of Linux here. So here coming to next directory, sbin. So this directory will use for super user bash commands actually here. So here in this directory, we can modify the commands for configuration. So if you want to install something, so if you want to reinstall your any files or some configuration, if you want to some change configuration for the applications, there in this directory we can change the configuration. So coming to next directory, proc. So this is the process under execution, this one, that information saved in the directory. For example, if you are installing some application, so the data will be stored here, the data will be saved here in the, this one, the proc. So mostly this is the how we need to check, like if you are installing something, if you are performing something, so you need to you need to go this directory, like how it's, like how that one is working, like the task manager. We can see from in the Windows task manager, right? So how many applications are running. If you are stuck in any application, we can go task manager and we are ending the task. So like this. So we are using here this the proc directory. So coming to temp, so this is the temporary system files. In the Windows also we are able to see, let me show you here. So in the Windows also we are able to see the temp files. So like if you are already installed some files, so sorry, for an example application, so that application contains some files like temporary files, that temporary files will store here. So if you want to remove these files, like all that application files, we can use the command like temp, and we can clear that data. So here in this directory also the temp system files will handle, so it will be, the files will be stored here. So coming to where directory, So system logs and very large files. For example, if you are running on application, so that application logs will be stored here, the system logs and very large type of applications. So it will be the for that application, that particularly internally one folder will be created in the where directory. So then there from there we can access the logs and files details. The home here. So coming to home, this one home, each user one home directory gets created here. So for the Windows, only one user we are able to like access, we can directly get, we can access and we are able to create. So but here we can each user will get one home directory like different. So that one will give some restrictions also. This user we are able to open this much of the only this directories like this module. So like that facilities will be there in the these directories. So etc. So here system configuration files will be there, like how we the system configuration is like network drives, uninstall, performance. So this device and these drives will be there here in the director. So opt software package files will be stored here. So while installing the software, any software, so in that application will store some files like the packages like exe files will be there. So it will be stored here, we can access from here. So coming to lib, so shared libraries across the softwares will be placed here. So if you are sharing something, that the application, if you are sharing the application, so you like transfer or delete, so these files will be libraries across will be placed here. So next